So this is a tutorial on how to create the Sub-Zero iceball effect from the Mortal Kombat movie. Basically this effect here where there's like streams of kind of moisture from the air forming like an ice ball in his hand. And I've been playing about with After Effects, and this is basically my version, what I came up with. It's not identical, but I think the essence of it is there. So I'm basically going to try and recreate this. Very simply, what I did was, this is pretty much the main comp here. I've got like each one of these is like an arm, and I've basically got CC glass effect, and I've got like some spray, and basically I've just got this kind of animation going on for each arm, and then I play them backwards here, and then I've just got like a ball animation kind of scaling up, and then here I just kind of add lots of kind of blending options and glow effects. So I think I'll just jump straight in. I'm going to create a new composition. I'm going to create a solid with a particular layer, and add particular. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to physics, and I'm going to add some wind. We can use wind to kind of influence a direction. In the emitter, I think I'm going to choose sphere, and I'm going to choose directional. Just kind of thins it out like that. I'm just going to increase life on the particle, make it 9 seconds, and add some size random slightly, so it looks like there's kind of chunks of ice maybe, and opacity over life. I'm going to make this kind of fade off. Just going to move this. So I want a quite steep fade off. Actually, it's pretty extreme. Okay, I think I'll just go with that for now. And what I then did was I added some turbulence, just affect the position slightly. I actually might make the stream emitter size a bit smaller. So we've got like a bit of turbulence going off there. It's got a nice effect. So what to do then is call this like stream 1, and then I'm going to pre-comp this. Just drag and drop here. So I've got like basically one arm, and then I'm just gonna duplicate it and rotate it. And I'll just do 5 for now. Say something like that. And you can build like different variations of this. So I might actually, I'm going to call this main comp here, the new one. I'm going to copy and paste, just hit Control D, create a new stream. And this one, I'm going to maybe add some wind along Z, just to give it a bit more 3D. Just make that 100. So if you alt drag stream 2 onto stream 1, if you select something and then select it there and then alt drag it, it'll just do a direct replacement. It's very handy. And now all we have to do is just select them all and then time reverse layer. So it's kind of playing backwards basically. It looks like it's kind of getting sucked in. The animation's a bit long, but I'm just going to chop this animation down maybe. It's kind of long. Just start there. And then what we do is just create like a solid, white solid. Go to the ellipse tool, hold down shift, and like draw a perfect circle. Make it quite big, and maybe give it a feather of 2 pixels, lock the mask. I'll just call this ball. I'm just going to hold Y and just click Y and then hold down Control to center that anchor point there. And Control Home will center it directly in the middle of the screen. It's quite handy. So we just want this to kind of scale up. So I'll set a scale keyframe here, and say it starts scaling about here from 0. So maybe sooner. So we've got this kind of effect going off. And then on the ball, if you go to noise and add turbulent noise and increase the contrast and make it, I found subscale was quite a good one. And we've got some complexity, subsettings, subscaling. Yeah, you can control the scaling there. And a keyframed evolution, so stopwatch, and then put like 4 rotations maybe at the end. That kind of animates the noise map here, kind of gives it like a icy kind of animated look. And we kind of want to tint all this, but I'm actually just going to add an adjustment layer and add CC glass here. Stylize CC glass. It's quite a handy plugin. It's quite difficult to control at times, but helps kind of make it seem kind of jagged. Can add some lights to the scene. Just make sure CC Glass is using AE lights. So we can kind of light it with an After Effects light. Obviously I want more light kind of in the center there, so I might just increase intensity. And just sculpt my glass a bit more. I think smaller values work better from my recollection. Yeah. Softness, maybe you want that quite low. It's kind of basically like a little bit of bevel and emboss on the particles. I think the stream particle size could be bigger, maybe 9. That's too big. 6. Oops. I think, yeah, negative displacement seems to kind of work quite well. So yeah, my settings are basically softness free, height 5, displacement negative, quite a high value. kind of seems to have the same effect as a simple choker, which is kind of what we want. Just makes it look a bit icier. And then just a bit jagged along the edges there. Maybe a bit more softness. What I did was I pre-comped this, and this is where I kind of add all the tints and kind of glow settings, just adds to it. So if you just go to color correction, tint, and if I just go back to the movie clip, it's kind of like a light blue, and then it seems to have like transparent bits in the middle. Looks about that kind of blue. And obviously the transparency can be achieved through like an add operation. I'll just make this a bit brighter. And I'll probably add a CC radial fast blur, not too much, just add some kind of blur, and stylized glow really helps things. But you want to play with a threshold, and maybe increase the radius of the glow quite a bit. But then reduce the intensity. It's like tends to be too bright. So that's like the basics of the system. You can like play with the particle size and stuff. And then what I did finally was I just added like an extra kind of spray in the middle there, and to do that basically I actually created a new comp, so I'll just call this pre-comp spray, and then I created a null and another null, make this blue, and just move it up slightly, and just create a solid. This is going to be for the particular layer, trap code particular. What I did was this is where I'm going to emit from, but I'm going to parent this to null 1 there, because I'm going to rotate this null 1, and this is going to kind of, it's going to rotate with it in a circular motion. The thing is, we have to use 2 comp because the coordinates of this emitter are in the space of its parent. So if you just alt stopwatch click position XY, drag it to null 2. If we play this, the emitter is over there because like the coordinates, because it's parented, the coordinates are inaccurate. So what we want to do is here, just instead of transform position, just put in 2 comp. This is a very handy expression. And now, regardless of the fact that it's like parented to this null here, it's just finding the kind of edge. And then what I can do is, this is the driving null. I can just rotate this several times, and we get like a circular rotation effect. So that's what I kind of did for the spray. Maybe just give it an even number of rotations, 5, 0, just 5 rotations. Seems to be a little bit buggy. Fast draft seems to work quite well. With particular, if you experiencing any glitches on the screen. So for this, I think I added some motion blur. So if you just go to particular, click here, click motion blur, versus velocity. Just reduce the life slightly maybe. And what I did was also this driving null, start with a small scale that then finishes at 100%, but it starts at maybe 1%, so it kind of expands out. Then just at the end, cut off emission, so just keyframe there, and then go to the next, make it 0. So when you play it back, you get this kind of effect. Which is kind of what we want. It looks like kind of moisture is getting drawn out of thin air, but except this stream is like going towards in towards the camera, not like the other ones which are pretty much going like directional. This is like to give a kind of you know, towards the camera effect instead of directional. And I'm just going to make these particles slightly smaller. Motion blur doesn't seem to be working, but I think that's because maybe I need more velocity. So anyway, once you've got that spray, just come to the main comp, and then I just drop that in behind the ball, and time reverse layer. So it kind of looks like there's just extra secondary particles just getting kind of sucked into the middle there. I think the velocity is maybe too high, but just going here, particular. The velocity is way too high. Just needs to be a bit more controlled. And then if I just go back to my main comp 2, just have a watch. Doesn't seem to finish quick enough, so just go to the main comp. You can always time remap it so it finishes a bit quicker. So that's frame 0, and then I want frame 0 to basically happen about this point. So I mean, that's the basics of how I achieve that effect, and just played a lot with the parameters. It creates some like extra streams, extra wings. These things here, just give them different turbulences so it looks a bit more random. Push them away and towards you in the Z direction to kind of give it more of a 3D look. Add some like secondary particle systems like I did with the spray layer. Things like that always help. And playing the video backwards is like kind of what creates the effect, I'd say. And then when you're comping this to the footage, which I might do, probably best to use like an add operation. I haven't got any footage in this instance, but let's just add a 4-color gradient, my favorite. So with an add operation, it'd kind of look a lot brighter, and then you'd have to like motion track this center bit to the hand, but that's another tutorial. So yeah, I hope that's kind of interesting, hope that helps, hope it wasn't too boring. And Thanks for watching.